All the tapping. Welcome back to Day 9 Daily number 643, where we're learning to be a better gamer! Ooh, in parts 1 and 2 we saw a lot of wins from StarDust, being clever and smart and setting himself apart from the other little farts who play Protoss. I think PvZ is in a beautiful state right now. There's a lot of different and varied plays that you can do as both sides. I think the Mutalisks are a little bit degenerate of a case because they're so powerful you can only go Phoenix. But beside that, a lot of really cool stuff going on. Particularly that drop play in the last game. So, you guys have chosen Game 3. We're going to continue to watch Nerchio vs. StarDust. This game, StarDust is gonna lose! And we're going to see exactly why and how, and then we'll take questions. And then I'm going to go get ramen. What an amazing song. Either way, StarDust is going for his gateway first play. A motivating factor for many players to not go gateway at the ramp is simply the distance between the main and the ramp. That point of analysis was so boring. Whenever it is placed nearby the main, we tend to see little wall-offs already pre-constructed. So, a couple of key wall-off aspects here that a single zealot can fit in right there. We also see that these two buildings protect the two pylons. The one thing I would note is that from this point of view, we can see that the zealot, actually we don't need to do that, the zealot can't squeeze through here. I like to place these pylons off by 1, so they're like this. Same wall off with the cybernetics core, creates the same little space here, but the zealot can then warp in on this side. It's very, very, very useful against 6 pools. Alright, cool. Nexus. He sees the Zerg doing the usual thing. I just want to sing. All I'm thinking about is ramen. I feel great. Is there a hum? Sounds okay. There was this there's this weird buzz that happens in my speakers that I've been trying to fix. Going, but I think I fixed it. So I would say for the first time this entire daily we're seeing the canonical PvZ opening. 1 gate expand into fast Stargate. This is good stuff. I like this play a lot. It's very typical. We're going to be using a Phoenix to be annoying. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, we're going to use a lot of Phoenixes to be very annoying. Getting our geysers up early. Most often, the transition around 7 to 8 minutes is a robotics facility. Sentry's getting warped in. Second Zelly for Zelly. Yeah, screw it. It's a Zelly. Like a Zeladon, except it's a Zealot. 4 Phoenixes tends to be the money number. Now you might say, why get the Robo up, as many players do? It's to be able to deal comfortably with the anti-air answers that are most common. Infestor and Hydralisk. Corruptors take a little bit long and don't really have any versatility, so you can easily kill a Zerg that goes Corruptor if you transition to Gateway. So most Zergs will go Hydras and Spore Crawlers. But this is kind of a funky opening from StarDust where he's going to go Stargate into a second Stargate, and he's going to keep making Phoenixes. Now the idea is that you get so many Phoenixes that you either start doing some game-endingly good damage, or he goes Hydras, which you can kill off because you have so many Phoenixes, or In almost all the other ore cases, the answer is, well, Phoenixes aren't the best, but they're going to be damn good. Even if he goes roaches, we're going to lift so much stuff that even his roaches aren't going to be very good, and we're going to have time to prepare. Unsurprisingly enough, the best answer in this circumstance is to go Zealot Roach. Is to go Zergling Roach. I mean, it's not surprising. It's not to kill the Phoenix. It's to exploit the fact that Phoenixes can't lift. And that they don't even lift. Semicolon, bro. Sleepy Sean, he wants some ramen. By the way, I'm playing Fez tomorrow, and I hope you tune in. Fez. In most circumstances, when going for the 2-port Phoenix and anything else, doesn't matter what it is, 2-port Phoenix with upgrades, 2-port Phoenix with tech, 2-port Phoenix with a few sentries, you're going to burn through all your gas incredibly, incredibly quickly. That's why, again, we see transitions to Speed Zealots be so common, because we're going to wind up with a lot of Zealots. Point of the Phoenix is to get as much map control as possible. Gateways are going to obviously be the next most important choice. And this is a very weird little move. I don't actually know how much I like this, the transition to Dark Shrine. Let's analyze this a little bit. With this many Phoenix, or Phoenixes, or Phoenicians, or whatever the plural is, technically, we can like snipe an Overseer and do some damage. We can go Bisu style Corsair Riba. Corsair Dark Templar. I don't know why I said Riba. Perhaps I was watching a lot of Brood War yesterday, actually. Corsair Reaver. Ignore Corsair Reaver, because that was a verbal typo. I didn't mean to say it. Going Phoenix Dark Templar. Very similar to going Corsair Dark Templar. So I think that that's kind of a clever concept, but I still think it's much, much better to drop the Phoenix count by 2, go for Zealot Archon with Void Ray, or go Zealot Archon after Phoenix. We're really seeing the effect of going for the very swift Phoenix play up in this. The one issue with all this is that there is no Forge. Still am kind of a believer in Deforge. Zerglings are going to be the worst enemy of this style because what are you going to do? You're going to warp in more Zealots? Well, you can only warp in 2 at a time. And I really feel like that this is the error in the build, is the lack of +1. We could have gotten a +1 and then gone down this tech route and chrono boosted it out and had it done just about now. If you can get Zealot Charge almost by now, you can get +1 by now. Technically, DTs will defend this expansion, but I'm still more worried about the Zerglings. Maybe that's the logic. We get, you know, so much detection, killing done by the Phoenixes that we can warp in DTs, but I'm not sure how sold I am on it because this is looking terrifying. What is that Mothership Core doing not right there, front and center? Oh my god! Oh my god! That's the latest Photon overcharge. Realize if that had gone down earlier and these Zerglings had never had a chance to get up here, that wouldn't have happened. And that's the mistake that's going to end the game. Pure and simple as that, that is a game-ending error, and a really egregious error at that. If you go for a fast third, the #1 reason you're doing it is because you decided that the Mothership Core is the be-all, end-all of awesome as Protoss. So make sure you get that frickin' thing up. Also, Fast Forge for +1 would have been nice for the Photon Cannon. I'm just not so sold on the DT rush in this position. We see more Phoenixes going down, which I guess is actually fine. Because we've seen Hydras, we've seen Lings. What is he really going to do? Overwhelm us with Lings? We have an Archon out right now, guy. If he tries to go Roach, we still have a pretty strong composition. We're just seeing a lot of Hydralisks. So effectively, if he goes Mono Hydra and nothing else, we're going to struggle a little bit, but Zealots in extremely large numbers are very good against that. This is a move that I think already StarDust is in a poor spot. I mean, he has 7 warp gates. He could be having more than that at this point. He could be having more upgrades, but he lost his 3rd. So we see this giganto force from Nerchio, and I gotta say, one of my favorite aspects of Nerchio is that he thinks really well. He thinks properly, I'd almost say. He thinks correctly. What's the best answer to Zealot Archon, even with a few sentries? The damn frickin' Baneling. Baneling. Baneling is great against that. You annihilate all the Zealots, and then you have naked Archons. And naked Archons are pretty easy to kill. About as easy to kill as anything else that's sort of organic and naked. Come on, StarDust, transfer. Good answer for the... I just feel like StarDust has kind of fallen apart since he's lost his base. But, you know, Mass Phoenix is great. If you ever see a force moving up like this, do not forget that Phoenixes can lift. I think that, again, is the error that we're seeing from StarDust this game, is he's not keeping all those forces together. I like that he's pulling back. Poking and prodding away at the front is good, but defending yourself against big shoves is far more good. Are there any Overseers in this mix? No. None at all. By the way, DTs that kill Banelings, talk about a hilarious end. Even more hilarious, we have Queens getting time warped off creep. LOL. Archons are actually pretty good against Banelings. I recommend it. Still no gas here. Ah! Still only 7 gateways. Double ah! And the last and most important ah of them all is the fact that the Phoenixes are not on the StarDust side. No! The last game that we will watch in today's daily will be fraught with tragedy. It's a big Ling Baneling force. No! What do lift Banelings so suave? Army for StarDust, so small. We see what could have been 23 Zealots out on the field. Let's just look at this. We have 32 Hydras with 20 more Zealots, and we even have DTs morphing in. StarDust would have been in fine shape. Zealots are pretty good against Hydras when the Zealots have speed and the numbers are high enough. Which sounds wrong, but it still is true, especially if there's 5 Phoenixes lifting stuff in between. And some Archons wailing at the backside. I mean, you'll note the StarDust is actually still alive right now. But Zealot Archon's really cheap. Really cheap. Let us take questions. In today's daily, we watched 3 games that StarDust won and 1 game that StarDust lost, and we can see in the game that lost, despite the brilliant StarDust was presenting, a clear mistake that had caused it. Alack alas. Ooh. In tomorrow's daily, I'm going to be, well, not daily, in tomorrow's day off, I'm going to be playing PvZer. Also, I reached out to some indie game devs recently, and I've created the Indie Game Forum on the Day 9 TV forums. Because I like indie games, and I want more opportunities to talk about them and to promote them and all that jazz. Purely because many of my best friends are indie game devs. Oh, excuse me. So if you go to day9.tv, you'll just see it there. The most recent question is to share the story of your first ever indie game dev. Which should be a horror story. It really should be. So hopefully there will be a dialogue there among indie game developers. And if you are an indie game dev, I invite you to post there because I'd be happy to promote you in your game. At zero cost, let me just throw that out there. I'd be happy to just help promote. And just, like, for instance, say, hey, there's a game there. And that sort of thing. Cult of Philos says, Day 9, how did you balance university and StarCraft? I am a multitasking animal, and I'm very disciplined. If I'm playing StarCraft, I'm playing StarCraft, and that is what I'm doing. If I am working on university work, that's what I'm doing. I don't open up a TV show and kind of watch that and work and chat on Skype, turn off GChat, turn off everything, focus on the work, invite people to do the work, and when they get off track, say, hey, let's get this work done. That's about that. Typhor says, did I ever script in MATLAB? Yes. One of my absolute favorite environments to work in because I love its amazingness with gigantic matrices. I did a lot of research with extremely large matrices, like 700K by 700K matrices. Just absurd. Conboy says, do I like modern or am I only into standard? I like draft and sealed. Then standard, and I have no interest in modern. No one's asking anything about the game. That's fine. Lucid says, Day 9, you've mentioned many times how much you love Castlevania Symphony of the Night. What are the chances that we'll see a playthrough for a day off sometime? I don't know. Maybe. I like that game. Maybe I'll do that next game. I like that. Rujan, what's it like working at artillery? It's interesting. Because everyone there is a fucking genius. They're so smart. What the fuck? And they're not like, oh, I'm so smart. They're just like pleasant and cheery and chatty, and they like talking about games. And then they go off and do something genius, and then never even brag about it. And you're just like... So it's great. And they're really, really nice, and they make me laugh a lot. It's really fun. Little Big 11 says, Day 9, how do we define how much is too many phoenixes? When you're asking what the plural of phoenix is, that's when it's too many. Longest Wink, NA. If you're going like one Stargate, some Phoenix transition away, 5, 6 is probably too many. Anywhere between 3 and 6 is, I think, fine. Most common is 4. Second most common is 5. Third most common is 6. At least of those, it's 3. If you're going for a 2 Stargate build like this, I don't know. I think it's more of a judgment thing. And the reason it's more of a judgment thing is why the hell would you build a second Stargate to intentionally stop quickly? That's a tremendous investment. Oh, people are asking about the fact that I'm going to play Wreckful in the Hearthstone Invitational. That's right, I'm in the Innkeeper Hearthstone Invitational. Shit. And I'm going to be blasting with a little bit of, I don't know, maybe I'll go Mage, maybe I'll go Paladin, maybe I'll surprise everyone and build a Warrior. But I hope to wreck Wreckful, even though I watch his stream a lot and think he's great. I hope to wound him and then tune into him. By the way, to watch Wreckful, go to twitch.tv/RECKFUL Wreckful. Watch him. Watch him. Watch Wreckful do-wop. Shots fired. God, shots fired is probably the weakest, least clever way to say, I believe there's conflict going on here. I think so. It's like, oh, you like 2% milk? I prefer skim. Shots fired! No, there's no reason to smile. I identified disagreement. I have done it. Oh, that's so good. I think there were shots fired. Do you want to do some shots fired? Alright. That's so good. Resurth says, Day 9, how many barracks did you have per base you have? Resurth, this was a PvZ daily. You're crazy. Well, if you're Zerg and you've stolen a SCV, and then you've built up a Terran infrastructure, and then you have abandoned all of Zerg in order to help support your brand new Terran race, I'd probably say 2 to 3 per base. I would say around 3 per base, including add-on, but earlier in the game you want fewer of those because you got to spend your money building supply depots and upgrades. Later in the game, I would say about 3.5 per base. Mega Fire Guy says, Day 9, how do I get the ladies? Okay, here's the trick. Here's the idea. You identify a female that you are interested in, and then you walk up to her and you say hi, and then you talk to her like a normal person. I know that this is very hard, and it's very intimidating, and sometimes you're going to get rejected. Ooh, what if I get rejected? Oh no. Then you scan around for someone else who you find attractive and you're interested in, and you go up to her and you say hi, and then there you go. That's right, we've been through this before. It's not easy for all of us. It has nothing to do with ease. You just walk up to her and do it. What if my voice is shaky? Well, then you're gonna have a shaky voice when you go up and say hi to her, and after you've done this 10 times, you will not have a shaky voice. No way. What should I say? I don't know. Be yourself. But But what if I'm myself and she doesn't like it? Then fuck her. Go. And, like, why do you want to be around someone who doesn't like who you are? Go see someone else. Oh. What if she doesn't think I'm amazing? Well, I mean, like, honestly, if you go up to any married couple and you say, how did you guys meet? How did you get together? What you won't hear is, well, first what I did is I identified her and I asked all her friends every one of her deepest, darkest secrets to find out what she would like, and then I became someone different. I was like a chameleon. I cloaked myself as who I think that she would love. And then I presented that to her and duped her into beginning a relationship. And 1 month at a time, I undid who I was until I returned to my wretched, awful self, but she had already fallen for it. And then my tendrils had entranced her, and I'd... Like, no one's... Who would say that? They're going to be like, well, I got dumped, and I went up to a girl in a bar, and I said, the next generation is the best Star Trek. And she said, no, Deep Space Nine, and now we have a child. Like that's a lot more accurate of what you'd hear. Erixiton says, how high are you? Please answer. I am not high. I have smoked nothing. I don't smoke. But I did take Accutane, which has fucked my eyes up, so they are regularly dry. Psy0 says, Day 9, ever had a girlfriend? No, I'm theorizing based purely on fiction. Alright, final question. Samenki says, Day 9, what was the music between parts 2 and 3? It was Metal Man. I'll see you tomorrow for some Fez, guys. Take care.